Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hot on the audio. So I was thinking that today I would talk about how being an adult is so much different than, what I thought it was going to be when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure that I've said this in a podcast before. Oh, shucks. I gotta, sorry, hold on, YouTube. That's probably a bit better, huh? Yeah. All right. So, yeah. Thought that everything was going to be different. I'm pretty sure I've done an episode on that before, but I'm getting my taxes done, and I have a couple of months extension on my taxes this year because of the hurricane. So actually getting on top of this shit and doing it, and getting on top of my credit and all this stuff, and trying to make finances work out for me is just not the kind of adulthood that I thought I was. I just thought I was going to be able to buy whatever I wanted when I went shopping or went grocery shopping. Like when you go grocery shopping and throw shit in the cart, they're like, "You ain't getting that shit. You don't need that." I thought it was just a whole world full of getting everything that you wanted all the time. What did I know? But I put on Twitter last night that was going to be my subject of or my topic of conversation, but something else happened, and I read earlier today that there was a guy from Alabama, of all places, Roll Tide, who wanted to go and spread the word of God to the good people at some random remote island out off the coast of India. And apparently he paid off fishermen to get him there, and he'd apparently done this a couple times. And these villagers shot him with bows and arrows, like bow and arrow. Like they literally killed this guy. And apparently the fishermen who were sort of off the coast a bit were afraid and left. So that happened. And now there's an American from Alabama who is dead, and there's nobody to charge. There's no way they can get charged for this. That's their territory. Like you literally, and the article that I read, which was a BBC article, there's nothing that can be done, and it's saying they have like pretty much sent military helicopters over just to check on them or whatever, make sure they're okay. And they were shooting arrows at the helicopters. So the pilot said, I guess that means that they're okay. But the wild thing about this whole situation is this guy went over to this village with these people, and they are not used to the sort of illnesses and sicknesses and diseases that we are immunized over, that we have pretty much don't have to deal with anymore. These people are still subject to where something, and there's like there's from 50 to 150 of them, this article that I read says, and there's literally a small something that we would get over quickly would wipe out that entire species of people. They're considered I don't know, find this article. They're considered an endangered. They're considered an endangered species of people. It was on BBC, but I was reading about this thing, and I started thinking in the article they were saying the yeah, here we go. The John Allen Chow was the guy's name. Shot with bows and arrows as he landed on North Sentinel Island, which is forbidden to outsiders, say local fishermen. So, yeah. So he paid these local fishermen to get him there, and that's apparently illegal because nobody's supposed to be on this island except the people who live there. And it's also supposed to be like they've the what am I thinking? The officials have stated these people have been tried, that we've tried to contact these people time and time again, and every single time the same thing happens. They have let us know that they don't want to be messed with, so don't mess with them. And I started thinking, what if I tried to pull this shit? What if I was like, every time somebody tried to show up at my place, I just get them with bows and arrows and shit, and be like, this guy's just repeatedly let us know that he doesn't want to be messed with over and over. I don't think that would work out so well for me. But it's just really crazy that in the world that we live in today, like, you think of all the technology and everything. And I just watched Black Panther, and just to think that Wakanda, in the middle of, where it was and how secretive and protective it was, like, what if there's like a fucking Wakanda or something over there? What if they're protecting something so much bigger than we can understand, and they're trying to keep it from the rest of the world? Which maybe living in the tribe that you grew up with, and no sign of technology or any outside world contact to the outside world or whatever it may be, maybe that is the big secret that they're keeping safe from the rest of the world. Maybe everybody else in the world is not caught up to where these people are. And the guy was a missionary. He was trying to spread the word of God. So I hear, which I'm all about that. Do what you got to do. But you got to think, man, if you have to illegally obtain passage to this place, it's probably not somewhere you really need to be going. And Roll Tide, kid from Alabama, I really nod at what he was going for. Like, his heart was probably in the right place. But right now, his soul is resting with the Lord. And he probably got there a bit quicker than he expected to. And gosh, imagine, oh God, how awful that had to be to die that way. Just bows and arrows and all this shit. Like, you were literally being killed by a primitive race of people. Like, by this is primitive technology that you're being murdered with right now. And it's all your fault. You're the one that showed up to a place where people are not safe. Like, people are not allowed to go there. And what I can gather is that this guy apparently had been there before. He had always paid fishermen to take him. And if he had been there before, maybe he had experiences that were not like this one, obviously, because he went back. I wouldn't see anybody trying to go back if you got arrows shot at you. But they were saying that someone else, like a couple of fishermen, had been killed by fishing too close to their island in 2006 or something like that. And apparently that went down. So, I mean, this is obviously a place you want to stay away from. I don't see why this guy would want to do it. And I'm sitting here talking about him, and he's staring at me in this screen. It's really weird. But, yeah. Advocacy group Survival International said that by contacting the community, Chow may have passed along pathogens that have the potential to wipe out the entire tribe of about 50 to 150 people. Police had earlier said he had set out with hired fishermen under cover of darkness and paddled a kayak ashore before he was killed. He had reportedly brought gifts to the islanders, including a small soccer ball, fishing line, and scissors. I wonder if they use that. There's pictures here. There's pictures here of him. Man, this is just insane. Huh. But yeah, anyway, the guy, that sort of sidetracked what I was going to talk about, because I rarely ever talk about the current things that's going on, and I probably should to make content more enjoyable. But this situation is a bit different than most things, because when is the last time that you can remember somebody encountering a legitimate primitive human being, like another person who is just so cut off from the rest of the world, outside of my Wakanda theory, who is just so cut off from the rest of the world that they don't know that there's another way to greet people without, just murdering them. But maybe in their experience, every single time that someone has, they've let them get close enough, something bad happens, or they're there for their resources or whatever have you, and they were protecting their land with bows and arrows. Obviously, there's not, anything else that they have to worry about on the norm. And I almost backtracked on putting any of this content out because I clicked on, as I was waiting to start the podcast, I clicked on a Joe Rogan link and saw that he also talked about the whole situation. But he was saying that young Jamie, who's his producer, read that they migrated from Africa or came over from Africa like 60,000 years ago or something like that. And they've literally just been primitively living in this just remote spot between India and they're pretty much over in that part of the world. But I'm not familiar. I'm not saying that part of the world in a derogatory way. I'm just saying I'm not familiar with the geography of the area. So, but yeah, wow. Imagine what that was like. And it's obviously a shady situation because he's paying these fishermen to do it at night. Not just the fact that he's paying them, but at night. And he paddles a canoe aboard or to shore and just gets off in the middle of the night. And all of a sudden, dude's dead. Just gone. Like, wonder who the last person, outside of maybe a hunting accident with bow and arrow, wonder who the last person on Earth was to die from bow and arrow. I bet that number is not large. Outside of maybe those tribes have issues, but can they though? Because shit, there's only like 150 of them, so they're probably not trying to kill each other. They're probably a lot better off than we are. It's a lot easier to deal with 150 people than the rest of the world. Crazy to still think that's a possibility. That you could go somewhere and just and immediately be picked off because you're invading someone's land that doesn't see people at all. Anyway, back to the other thing that I was going to talk about. Being an adult, when I was a kid, and I was like, I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait to see what life's like and do what I want to do and buy the groceries I want to buy at the grocery store and all this shit or whatever. Totally not what I had expected. I didn't think I'd have to keep up with paperwork and do all of this nonsense and show the government how much I've made, and I don't think it's any of their business, but I'll show them. We're not getting involved in that. Every now and again, I'll go on viral videos and type taxation is theft in the comment section. Just some nights I'll do dozens of them. That's how I feel about it. But seriously, I'm getting on top of this thing, getting on top of my taxes, and I haven't done that in a little while. And I'm getting on top of my credit, and I haven't ever done that. I've never cared about my credit at all. And my goal is to maybe one day build up enough credit to buy a house. And I really want to do that. I want to have my own place. I want to have somewhere where I could have a dog or a yard or a back door or whatever. And I love my house. I love where I'm at. I love my neighbors. But I really just want a house. I want something to call my own. And I can't do that with the credit score that I got right now. But I've looked at my credit score and I looked at anything that was on like negatively on my credit whatever, my credit report. And I found after I paid off a lot of shit over the last few years, and I had only one thing left that was on my credit report. And as of yesterday, I finally paid that thing off. So now I'm broke, but at least I'm making my future a little bit easier because I'm trying to take care of things that need to be taken care of. And I've realized that being broke is not so bad when you're doing the right things with your dollars. It's okay to be broke, I guess, if you're paying all your bills. Sorry about Christmas, y'all. Ain't gonna be no Christmas present this year. It's gonna be just like every other year. Every other year, I'll usually be like, I'll spew something like, "Man, I just don't really like the whole gift buying thing." It's like, you know what? What, I have to buy you a gift because it's your birthday, or I have to buy you a gift because it's Christmas, which is sort of what I believe, but it's mostly just because wintertime sucks and I'm broke. And this year, I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna get everybody Christmas presents this year because I haven't done that forever. I'm not a Christmas present. I'm not a presents person, but I think I was gonna change my tune this year a little bit. But I don't know. It don't look like don't look like that's gonna be a possibility or a good idea at all, ladies and gentlemen. But but still, either way. I feel getting on top of finances and getting on top of adult things is something that's kind of necessary, and I haven't been able to do that ever, and I'm pretty excited about the progress that I've already made, and it's funny that I was like, you get into that moment where you're like, you've say you've wanted to do something for a while and then you finally get a chance where you're in the middle of it and you're like, oh, so this is what that feels like when I wanted that comfort of knowing that I've taken care of something and that I don't have to worry about anything. Like, I've always wondered what that felt like, and now I know. And I've gotten to that with, just being on top of keeping things paid and doing right things with money instead of doing ignorant things with money. And I just spent so many years. I told people the other day, when I was drinking, I used to get cornbread's checks. All the checks get written to me for cornbread. And I'll write checks to Smitty and Adam sometimes. But when I used to get the checks for cornbread, and I was drinking, I would go to Walmart and I would get however much, like $60, $70 worth of groceries or whatever. And for those of you who don't know, Walmart cashes payroll checks, and they charge you $3. So I would always go to Walmart and get my payroll check from wherever it was I would play, get them, cash that, pay the $3, get them to cash it, and then I'll get my groceries, take my groceries to the house, go back down to the Marsh Walk, and hit up all the bars. And every bar I would get, I'd have, I don't know, $60-$70 in and out of a bar. And then I would do that and get shitty ass drunk and not really black out because that wasn't my style. I didn't black out. But just get hammered ass drunk, come back to the house, and then wake up the next morning hungover as shit and look in my wallet and not be $1 there. Now, I had Adam and Smitty's money in my wallet. And I'd spend all of it. And I was getting so hammered, I didn't even care. I would spend all the dollars. And then the next week, I would have to play for free because I'd have to pay them back what I owed them. And sometimes that shit would go on for a couple of weeks where they would be pissed off about getting money. And I don't understand money. Like, it didn't click yet. I didn't get it. I didn't understand why they were worried about it. I mean, I didn't understand. But that's where I used to be. I used to be to the point where anytime I got any sort of money in my hand, I had to spend all of it. Like, I wasn't satisfied if I didn't spend all of it. Even if I needed it for something else. Like, even if I needed to pay rent or I needed to pay whatever, insert bill here. If I needed to pay any of it, I didn't care. I just wanted to get drunk. I wanted to feel good right then. I wanted to do whatever I needed to do to make myself feel great right that second. And I would always choose feeling good right now rather than feeling who cares right now and maybe feeling good later, which is where I am now. Which I don't give a shit what goes on right now in each moment. Doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to put away for the future because that's where I really want to be comfortable. I don't care about being comfortable now. I've been comfortable right now for long enough. I can deal with a little bit of discomfort, which isn't even discomfort at this time. I just got so used when I got in an accident when I was a kid, got all that damn money, got like a checking account with almost almost six figures in it, and you get used to living like that. When you get a check for $96,000 when you turn 18, you get accustomed to a certain sort of lifestyle, and you continue that kind of lifestyle whether you want to or not after you become accustomed to it. And I just lived like that. If I see something I want, I just buy it, and I didn't care. It didn't matter. What do you mean need to save money? I got money. Why do I need to save it? I have money. I'm not gonna run out. Sure enough, I ran out. It took going broke and being broke for a really long time, and not having my grandmother to bail me out when I would overdraw my account or whatever it was I did, or not coming up on rent, or not having a friend to ask money for, my girlfriend to ask money from, or just be one of them bums. Like once I didn't have that anymore, then I started to get to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to either be homeless one day playing guitar on the street corner, or it's time to do some growing up. And when I decided that it was time to do some growing up, it still took me like 2 or 3 years before I realized, okay, yeah, it's time to legit do this thing and stop just thinking about it. So, yeah, I don't know. It took me a long time to get to that situation, but I'm glad that we got there finally. I don't really have a whole lot more for you in this one. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the growing up thing, and I guess I could have went down that road a little better. But I'm just blown away still by that guy who got killed by a bow and arrow. Like, that is just so wild. I can't believe anybody go there. Anybody would go to somewhere like that and put themselves in that situation, even in the name of God. I just don't see it. But it's not me. Maybe he's a better man than I am for attempting it. Who knows? All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Watch Ex Machina, I think is how you say it. Machina, X, Machina. I watched that last night. Pretty good. I also watched Hostels on Netflix last night. Was also really good. I really like that one. If you're into westerns, the whole cowboy and Indian story, this is pretty much just like the rest of them, except there's a few small differences, but it was good. I recommend it. Something else that I was gonna watch that I can't remember for the life of me what it was. Oh well, we'll be getting back together again Sunday. Also, this coming Sunday, we'll be having Tommy Tipton. Tommy's going to be here on Sunday to talk about his career changes as of late, and Jeff Thomas also going to be coming on either Monday or Tuesday next week at 1:00. So we're going to be doing a recording on an odd day, but it's going to be an early episode, and we're going to talk about comedians and all sorts of things. Obviously, we'll be talking about music because we're musicians, but the main topic of this one is going to be comics, and we're going to be discussing our favorite ones and probably quoting a lot of comedy. So be sure to check that one out and stay tuned. Hit subscribe for all the fronts. I'm going to be saying this in the intro in a second, which you guys, if you listen to audio, you've already heard the intro. But for video people, I'll give it to you here in a second. Hit subscribe, do the Facebook thing, do the YouTube thing, do the Patreon thing, Twitter thing, the Instagram thing. I'm on all the fronts now. So, yeah, doing that. And also, in quick closing, we have been ranked in the top 100 for the last week. I think over a week maybe. But today we were ranked. We were ranked in the 50s, 40s, 50s and 40s in the last 3 days. So I think we were 56. I think we were 48 yesterday, or 46 yesterday, and 48 today. I think our best ever was 37. I'm trying to beat 37. You guys have been great with the downloads, and I appreciate you for listening. And anytime you click listen on any of the fronts, I will get credit for that in my account, in my Podomatic account, and it will let me know. Like, and I say credit, I mean download credit. So it will count that as a download every listen that you every time you guys listen. So, yeah, stoked about that. Getting the rankings up. I like being in the top. That's fun. Makes you feel like I'm doing something right. Speaking of doing something right, I'm going to try to do this right next time and not ramble so much. I apologize for that. I'll have a little bit more enjoyable content the next time because we'll be having guests. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I love you. Be good. World full of shitty people. Don't be one of them. Be a good person. Happy Thanksgiving. Tell your family I love them. Tell your family you love them. All right. Peace, bitches. Hey, guys. How you living? You doing well? Good. Happy Thanksgiving to you out there, Thanksgiving world. Giving thanks all over the world for thankful things. Be thankful. So in this episode, I rambled in a big way, but I didn't go too overboard. I kept it pretty short. So there's that. I talked about how I planned on, doing a talk about being an adult is not near as much fun as what I thought it was going to be, and ended up talking about the guy who went to the island off the coast of India and got killed by bow and arrow. And I only talked for a short amount of time about it and kind of went off on a tangent about spending money and how I used to spend money when I was drinking and making changes now, and not to brag or anything, but things are a lot better than they used to be, and I think they merit me noting that. So that's what I did. I noted it. All right, things that I watched. I watched Hostels last night on Netflix, which was great. I watched Ex Machina, however you say it. I watched that movie last night, which was great. I started watching I was watching The Godfather. If you've never seen the Godfather trilogy, by the way, watch the Godfather trilogy. It's fucking great. Everything about it's good. Yeah, do that. Haven't been listening to anything spectacular. I listened to Eminem's album a while ago again, Kamikaze. I listened to that whole thing a while ago. I did listen to Jose Gonzalez earlier. I was listening to Jose Gonzalez. Check out the soundtrack, actually, to The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Trust me, spend the $11. Get the soundtrack to The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It is well worth it. Very great, very good soundtrack. You'll dig it. But, yeah. Like all the pages, subscribe to all the pages. Go to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, share it with your friends. Go to the Facebook page, follow the Facebook page. Go to the Instagram page and follow that. Also on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. You can follow me at Kelsey Hudgens or at MI Stuff Podcast. I suggest you follow both of them because sometimes I'll be on one account and think I'm on the other account and share things back and forth between them. So, but I always share either way. So follow one of them at least, but do both of them. Cornbread, going to be doing another cast iron skillet episode. I think that's going to happen next week. Actually, Cornbread's going to be recording an album. We're going to meet up and do some going over some songs. over, I think, next Monday or Tuesday. One of those 2 days is this is going to go down. So, yeah, stay tuned for Cornbread stuff. Go to Cornbread Band. Actually, there's a link on my YouTube page. If you go to my YouTube page, there's a link to Cornbread's YouTube page on my front page. So check that out. Click subscribe to that page as well, so you can stay up to date on everything that's going on in the fine world of the cornbread. Speaking of cornbread, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Hope all of you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and hope you have everything that you're thankful for all around you. And if you don't, be thankful. Be good people. In a world full of people being shitty people, don't be one of those people. Be a good one. All right, happy Thanksgiving. Without further ado, episode number 80, ladies and gentlemen, of MI Stuff. You enjoy, motherfuckers. Hope you have everything that you're thankful for. Oh, wow. We're still hot on YouTube. All right, guys. Click subscribe. Click the links at the bottom of the page right now. Do that. Do that and do it again. Share it with your friends. Love you. Mean it. Happy